Yo guys, what's up? The moment is finally upon us. The invigoration is over. The Styanax build is here. I am so excited to talk about this. Because it's a really unique build. A lot of people build for his 4, and I find the KPM pretty underwhelming on that, especially moving into higher level content. And I think there's some certain parts about his kit that people just don't talk about enough and don't get to take advantage of. So, let's move on immediately to the build so then I can talk about what I'm saying and what I mean. Um, First off, we're going to talk about some Archon shards here. I'm going to show them and then I'm going to discuss why once we get to the modding portion. We have 3 shards for shield capacity, a shard for casting speed, and a 10% Crimson Archon shard. You can go higher if you want to use Tau Forge, go for it. Depends on how much you like the build. This is the threshold number that we need to hit exactly. So that's what I'm aiming for. Okay, onto the build. Okay. We are using Helminth over the 4, and we are using the Null Star ability, which is Nova's Helminth. This might sound a little weird at first, but trust the process. I'm gonna try to explain all of it. We are using this as a form of survivability and as a form of boosting crit chance, using Arcane Hotshot combined with Neutron Star. Um, Neutron Star allows you to recast Null Star, and it will send the remaining ones out to hit enemies, which does heat procs. This is a really easy way of building Arcane Hotshot. If you do not have a max version of Arcane Hotshot, do not worry. You don't need it for this build. Just put in whatever level you can, and I promise the gun buffing will be fine enough anyways, or crit buffing. Um, let's move on to why we're building crit chance. So, Styanax is a passive that not enough people talk about. Styanax's crit chance increases with his shields and doubles for spear guns. This also works with overshields. It is incredible. That is why we are using blue shards to increase shield capacity. If you are just sitting with a ton of blue shards and don't know what to do with them, putting 5 Tau Forge into Styanax is not a terrible decision. The reason why I chose the other 2 shards is personal preference. I do not really enjoy the casting speed time of Rally Point. I find it a little bit too long, especially because it's not an endless ability, though it is recastable. Um, and I also enjoy it over with the 2 because I do use the 2 a lot. And we're gonna get to why here soon. But blue shards scale so well with him. So when we're gonna move over to the build and the numbers we're trying to hit here, I just want to talk about the abilities first and what I'm using. We have his 1. This is the most common thing that people Helminth off. I am still using it, and quite effectively because he now has a new augment called Axios Javelineers, which spawns 2 other Styanaxes, Spectres, to throw javelins as well, creating vortexes on impact. Impale an enemy to increase the vortex duration for 5 seconds. I'm going to show this off real quick. And I'm going to show off the way Neutron Star works real quick, because I just want to talk about the Helminth, and then we'll talk... I want to talk about the augment mods, and then we'll talk about the rest of the build and why I'm doing that. So, we have Corrupted Battle Group here. I press my 1. You're going to see, sends out a bunch of javelins, and that is really good grouping. Really good. Lasts a long time. That increase by 5 seconds does scale with duration. As you can see right here, that is increasing the duration to 7.75 seconds. That is a long time. And then we have the 4. As you can see here, spreading heat procs. We are already at max hotshot. Press it again. I mean, you guys can see how that's really nice. Also really good for lower level nuking. Even decently, like mid-level nuking. That's our 2 augments. And that's why we're using them. Grouping's just super nice. I'm going to show you a weapon that pairs really well with this grouping and that takes full effect of his passive. Not that there are not better options. There's absolutely better options. I'm going to go over some of those as well. I'm just showing a weapon that synergizes with him in a fun way. Okay, on to the numbers and why we're hitting them. So we have a rank 9 out of 10 blind rage. If you guys saw the Caliban build video, you're aiming for the exact same strength threshold, so I use this mod again, paired with a red shard. There are actually some benefits still to this day to 99% stripping. Actually, those maybe all got removed. You guys might have to update me in the comments, but I don't think corrosive is just going to do more damage against armored opponents anymore. Let's actually look at this right now, guys. We're gonna look at this mid video. Because it might be best to just build. No. No. Okay. I would probably go for the full strip if you can. If not, Blind Rage, go for the 99% strip with a rank 10 one. If not, run a rank 9 with a... let me clarify this real quick. There is no negative. If you have to run a rank 10, go for it. I'm just doing this to hit specific numbers. You can run the rank 10, and you can run it with a red shard, or you don't even need the red shard, and you can just go full shield capacity, which will give you more crit chance. Okay. So that's what we have that. We're trying to get to 200% for your second ability, which will give you a full defense reduction. That is going to be for armor and also for shield. Let's show that against some enemies here. If we show it against the corrupted, we can see it against armor, and we'll do some corpus here. Here you go. If I press the second ability, completely armor stripped. That's also giving health back, which we're going to talk about our aura slot now. Aura slot, we are using combat discipline. Combat discipline, this is something I use on a lot of builds. It is super strong. It can actually also be helpful for keeping your team alive if they are health tanking. That's a side plus. But the main reason why we're using it is every single time we get a kill, we have a chance at proccing Arcane Avenger. This basically means permanent uptime for Arcane Avenger. 45 crit chance does not sound too great, but when you factor in what Arcane Avenger is actually doing, it's pretty incredible. It is flat 45% crit chance. So you have 300% crit chance from this. We have currently, with this build, no overshields, 225% crit chance. It's pretty incredible. And remember, that is doubling on spear guns. I'm going to show you my spear gun of choice here in a second. And the build on it and why I'm using it. But then we also have Prime Sure-Footed. Not needed. Not needed. I think we just talked about this in the Excal video. There are other options. Constitution can be ran over continuity, and you can use regular Sure-Footed in the X-List slot. That, or you can use Handspring. Handspring is really nice. I really enjoy Handspring. This is what I personally used before I got Prime Sure-Footed because I found losing the duration stat not to be too great. But now that you can comp for lost duration, like you could just run a Tau Forged Red for like duration over the Amber or over one of the blue shards. None of these are necessary here. These are all just, I enjoy them. You do not need them to make the build good. What you need to make the build good are the mods that are here on the screen, other than like Sure-Footed. Multiple options here though for knockdown immunity or for faster recovery from knockdown. So Handspring here, or if you're okay with the duration loss and you are going to build a little bit more duration, or if you're just goated and are okay with spamming buttons more often, Constitution here, regular Sure-Footed here, and that is 100% knockdown immunity. We are using Flow for energy max. We do not need to build energy in any other way because the third ability, this is the ability that gets overshadowed the most on Styanax, even though, in my opinion, it is the strongest survivability ability in the game. And it's also just incredibly strong because on kill, you are going to get energy. That means your energy rate is literally just based off of how fast you can kill people. Same with your survivability. This will give shield on kill even if you have zero shield. So we don't even need to build like shield gates at all. We can just build shield tanking. And it's really fun for base steel path. And then once you get up to higher level content, as long as you have a good enough gun, you literally will never die. Just kill someone once every like 1 second and you should be completely fine with shield gating. Because this is going to constantly give you shield even if you're on delay. We have redirection to boost the passive to get more crit chance. We also have Augur Accord to do this exact same thing and to give a shield on ability cast. We are using the 2 often, we are using the 1 often, we are using the 4 often, so this is really nice. That way, if you didn't get a kill or if you're caught in between delay, this will save your life. We are also using Boreal's Hatred, which is even more shield capacity to boost up the passive even more, and ability efficiency, which is just comfortable to have. It's nice. Sometimes energy can be a little weird, so this is super nice to have. And it reduces damage when airborne. I mean, that's like whatever, but it can be useful. Um, and then we have both the augments, which we talked about. Once again, to touch over the arcanes, we are using Hot Shot, which pairs well with Neutron Star. Fourth ability gives damage reduction. So we currently have 50% damage reduction base, which is just what Shield has. And we also get an additional 90% on top of that with Neutron Star. So we have very high damage reduction. Uh, you are doing something wrong if you ever go down to health. I'll just put it that way. You can't really die on him. He is incredibly strong as a shield tank. You're getting shield by casting abilities with Augur Accord. You are getting shield by killing enemies. It's overall just extremely strong, and then you combine that with some damage reduction, grouping, and crazy crit chance through his passive in both these arcanes, and you have a really good time on him. This is a very different build. Most people will build for his fork, which completely removes the reason why the 3 is so incredible to me, which is not the energy, it's that shield on kill. That is so incredibly strong. And the shield on kill is also just incredibly nice because it's going to be good with the passive. So like the way that these two pair together just feels amazing with Arcane Hotshot and with the passive. And then you also have Thero Strike to help you out with your combat discipline. Do not worry about running an unleveled combat discipline. This is just I have that for comfort, so I don't have to use my 2 as much. But your 2 gives health on enemy hit, so you do not even need to run an unleveled combat discipline. You can run a fully leveled one and recover all the HP that you lose whenever you kill enemies. So super nice. Do what you can there. If you don't have the Forma, you can run a fully leveled one. Do what you got to do. You don't even need the Prime mods, guys. I mean, it's just like try to build for these stats specifically. The one that's going to give you the most benefit is actually going to be Prime Redirection. If you guys can get this Prime mod, it's not very expensive, and it is going to give you a massive crit chance bonus with the passive. So, on to some testing. Let's show off what weapons I'm using with it. So, from the fun secondary video, I am using the Sepulchrum. I find this weapon to be so incredibly fun on him. If you guys saw what the alt fire does, is it shoots homing high AoE shots, and those AoE shots will red crit with this build, and it is extremely satisfying, and it will kill all the grouped up enemies. To take advantage fully of his passive to get the double crit chance, we are using a spear gun. And it's a spear gun that you guys probably haven't seen before. Maybe you have seen it, maybe you've tried it, you were underwhelmed, but it feels like it gets a new lease of life on Styanax specifically. We are using the Tenet Ferox. Here I am building pretty boring, viral, with my valence bonus being heat. The way that you get this is by spending corrupted hollow keys, which are acquired through Railjack. You need to go to what's his name, Ergo Glass, at any of the relays, and you should be able to buy one at any time. It will have a random element and a random percentage every single week. So if you want to wait so you can get a higher percentage one, go for it. But percentages really doesn't matter that much. It's the difference between 25 and 60% damage of the base damage. So it can be a bit, but it's not going to make or break this build. What does matter is it is heat. You can use an elemental vice, which will allow you to change this to heat once you've leveled it up to level 40. That's what I would recommend doing. As for the arcane slot, this is going to be kind of whatever you want. If you want to use Crux, if you want to use Deadhead, I am currently using Merciless just because I find it easy, especially when they are all grouped up all together. And yeah, I'm going to show a little bit of demonstration with this. This weapon does have a weird interaction with condition overload. If I type Ferox, you are going to see that it is additive, but at a level of 333%. And you can see right here the way that it interacts. AoE does not scale off multi-shot. That is okay. We are going for a direct hit kill build, which is why we have aptitude. This is a lot like the Shedu, where people are using the Shedu to use it as an AoE weapon. That is not what it is good at. It is good at direct hitting. So we're going to show it off real quick. With the full bonus, we'll go back and touch over the build real quick a little bit more because I'm sorry I didn't elaborate enough here. Crit chance, fire rates, really like vial acceleration with this. We have Serration because that massive percentage with the scaling with aptitude. Not multiplicative, but still very good. We have Prime Cryo rounds and Malignant Force. Malignant Force is nice for that little bit of status chance, but if you do just want to build more flat damage, you can go Infected Clip. You can also go double 60-60, that's all up to you. Multi-shot here. Vigilante Supplies for those crit upgrades, and that is pretty much it. Let's show off a little bit of gameplay here in the simulacrum, and then we'll go into actual gameplay. So, we are going to use the 1 to group. That is not my 1 key, guys. Okay, it's chalked. I'm going to use the 1 to group, and then if I shoot at this group, you can already see my crit chance is extremely high. I mean, that is so incredibly nice. That is without Hot Shot. Now we're going to show it with Hot Shot. There you go. Get max stacks here. We are exclamation point red critting, so I can't hit something that's directly in front of me. And you guys are seeing the damage here. This thing can absolutely wipe enemies off the face of the map. We are going to test this against some Exogoxads just to show the viability of this. Exogoxads are going to be the hardest enemy that you can scan and spawn in here other than Demolus, but we're not really going to test it against Demolus because that's not really the purpose of this build. But as you guys can see here, incredibly strong. We're one-shotting Exogoxads when they're primed by Null Star with Neutron Star. Really high crits, good stuff. No Rivens here. All natural, this build. And then let's show off the Sepulchrum with this, and the reason why I love the Sepulchrum so much with him. We're going to get a couple stacks on it. Oh, I thought that guy died. There we go. The Sepulchrum's really good with the grouping ability specifically. So if I use the 1 here, and I charge up my alt fire, and I can get some enemy heads here. That's weird. That doesn't work in the simulacrum. Well, I will just have to show that off in actual gameplay then, because it is not letting me actually crack the enemy's heads. There we go. You can see it can kill a massive group of enemies altogether. Super satisfying. And now I'm going to show actual gameplay with all the abilities working all together. His passive working. His fourth working for damage reduction. Everything. It's going to be good stuff. Okay. On to the gameplay. Really fun stuff, guys. I really suggest trying this build. I know it's different for Styanax, but that's kind of the whole goal. I wanted to show off something that is different from what you guys have seen. You've probably seen no visibility, no star being used in a lot of frames, 2 used with Hot Shot. If not, and that's new, awesome. I'm happy to show off that interaction. It's super fun with Hot Shot. Do not worry about the level of your Hot Shot. The benefits are still going to be big on him. And it's still fun in building for passive, which I think is debatably the most exciting part of his kit, because all of his other abilities work really well building towards his passive. So yeah, especially with the grouping to add an AoE element to this.
I'm sending life support capsules your way.
And use the Ferox here starting off. Little Steel Path Grineer on the Grineer ship tile set. This is Titan on Saturn. Going to be one of my favorite places to test, and I will continue to show testing videos here. As you guys can see, incredibly strong. Get the Sepulchrum going. I mean, didn't even use the alt fire there. Don't even need to. Sepulchrum's so strong. Here we go. Group one more time. See, really good stuff here with the Ferox. The AoE on this is really nice. The effect intensity is kind of awful, guys. I'm going to turn this down while using the weapon. Just so you guys can kind of see what's going on a little bit more. Because that was a little brutal. Kind of can't even see what's happening here. Do this. shoot the group of enemies. As you can see, Ferox works really well with this.
Capsule.
And it's getting that full bonus. So right now it says up top right, I have 282% crit chance. That means I have literally double that. So pretty incredible stuff with the Ferox. Go ahead and get Null Star back up. Pop my 3 again. Group. And here's just the Sepulchrum, even without its alt fire against grouped enemies. Just absolutely bodying them. Incredibly fun weapon on him.
Capsule to the area.
Incredibly fun.
Activating it will buy you more time.
Use our 2 to defensive strip some targets here. Charge up the alt fire. Boom. Everybody's dead. You don't even need that defensive strip. The defensive strip against the Acolyte, though, is really nice to have, because it allows you to kill the Acolyte in 1 millisecond. Not literally, but allows these weapons to perform definitely better against the Acolyte. Not that they perform poorly. They perform plenty well already. Looks like Evan's messaging me. Shout out my goat, Doypid. One of my favorite people ever. Yeah. Sorry, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much the Styanax build. I'll just let it speak for itself here for a little bit. Please do give it a try. You're gonna see the way that the Ferox interacts with him and how well it kills the Acolyte. The Sepulchrum as well. Just a really fun secondary. Obviously, there's a lot of other good weapon options, but I'm just kind of trying to show you guys some more fun picks.
Life support.
As you can imagine, there's definitely a couple weapons that are going to scale a little bit better with higher crit chance, notably Incarnons. But if I'm just showing off how good Incarnons are and not the Warframe, then I'm not really showing a Warframe demo. I'm showing just a weapon demo. I just want to show you guys that he is a weapon platform that can make even weapons that were really underwhelming at launch super duper viable. Look at that. Look at those juicy red crits. I mean, what's not to love about that, guys? No ribbon here. Relatively low invest build. You just need to have a Nova in the helmet. Like I said, don't really worry about the specific mods too much other than the augments. Just try to mod for the same stats that I did. If you guys can do the Archon shards, even better. You're going to see even higher crit chance. I know the hard part is hot shot, but if you guys can't get a leveled up hot shot, do not worry about it. If you do not have a way of acquiring hot shot yet, buying just one isn't even a bad path. Or just slotting it out for something like Molt Augmented, or just whatever your arcane you guys have. Because as you guys saw in the Simulacrum, even without having hot shot up, you're getting really good crits because how strong the passive is. And with it up, I mean, you're seeing exclamation point reds on no ribbon builds. Super satisfying. A little bit of like a more interesting Harrow kind of route. We've got crazy crits, shield based survivability, just less team buffing, but you're kind of up in their face more. A lot of Harrow builds now use evade, and with that you're less in the combat. This has you just really getting in there, and kind of rewarded for it, because every kill you get is going to boost your shield more, and every single time you boost your shield it's going to be more crit chance. So really incredible stuff. And you guys are seeing how strong this Sepulchrum is. I mean, I really wasn't kidding when I posted that secondary video that this thing is a truly fun weapon, and honestly kind of a hard hitter. I wouldn't even consider this just a fun weapon. This is a very strong weapon. Look at that. I was with one shot charged up. Okay, here we go. The big Acolyte is spawning in. Misery. And that is a 3-shot. I believe that was a 3-shot. It may have been a 4-shot, but really strong stuff. I'm not even using the Ferox, even though that is the weapon that is benefiting the most from its passive. Just because I find the Sepulchrum so fun. Not that this thing isn't fun. If you set your trigger mode to... let me just show this real quick, because this is super important. This is a charge weapon. If you do not set it to this, fire manually triggered weapons continuously, your weapon is not going to be full auto. You're going to have to let go... Or, sorry, you're going to have to hold click, I'm pretty sure, every single time you fire this thing. So I would definitely give that a... I would not give that a try. I would turn that on. It's going to turn any semi-automatic weapon into fully auto if you just hold down your trigger button. If you're on controller, hold down your stick. And if you are on mouse and keyboard, you can hold down your mouse 1 button. So really strong stuff. That's pretty much the build, guys. I could stay here all day. I love the build. The grouping, you don't even have to use it. The 2, you don't even have to use it. But just the combination of the 3 and the 4 combined with his passive, combined with Avenger, combined with Combat Discipline, and combined with Hot Shot, is just really incredible. This is a really different alternate route of playing Styanax, but I really do truly find it fun. Um, I find his base build so mind-numbingly boring, and it falls off so quick. But this is something where if you have a strong enough weapon, this will take you anywhere to any content. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm super glad I was able to get this out finally. And I hope you guys have a blessed evening, and we continue the conversation in the comments. If you guys have any questions, please ask. Thank you so much for the support on the last couple videos. You guys are truly amazing. Goodbye, guys.